Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Serpent. This is a special edition video, right? This stuff does not happen, right? This is outside of Crypto Serpent XRP daily video timeframes, but this has to be spoken about. It is urgent. We need to talk about this because this is absolutely massive. Now, I will begin by saying that I do not think this will happen. But we need to talk about it because it is making headways all over the world. Everyone's talking about it. What truth, if any, is there to this? So I've done hours upon hours upon hours of digging. And I'm bringing this because we need to talk about it. Right, there's been quite a few people to discuss this particular topic. This would be something that has not happened since 1938, last time the Federal Reserve bought back stuff from the public. And it all started when, yesterday this went out and it said it is done. Congratulations to all. And what I'm going to be showing you is the hours upon hours upon hours of research that I've done to bring you some form of clarity around, is there any truth to what we're about to discuss? Because, as I've said, I don't think this is happening. But we need to talk about it because apparently this has been in the making since 1977. And I've got some juicy things to talk about today. Like, this is pretty crazy stuff, right? Let's go back in time. The year was 2017. It was July 21, 2017. Ripple published this. Federal Reserve Task Force. Ripple improves speed and transparency of global payments. Today, after 2 years of work, the Federal Reserve released its Faster Payments Task Force action plan for bringing faster payments to the United States, highlighting Ripple's ability to underpin the generation of cross-border payments. This is 2017. Right? This is pretty crazy. Now, the Fed Faster Payments Task Force gives Ripple vote of confidence for next-gen global payments. Ripple played a leading role in establishing this future vision for payments. Early in the process, I was elected to serve for the steering committee to represent tech companies and provide expertise on emerging technology and blockchain. Wow. Okay. We're warming up, guys. We're warming up to this idea, right? Now I'm going to play you a video that was published on Twitter. Let's have a listen to what this guy had to say. Now keep in mind that this was published yesterday, but I'm not sure when this particular interview took place. But have a listen to what he has to say.
Let's move on to your presentation at this conference that you'll be making later in the day. The theme is the demise of the Federal Reserve. Pretty strong words. What do you mean by that?
It is. It's something that the media hasn't caught on to yet, but it is the chain reaction of what is going on right now will lead to this. And basically, I'll be talking about how, the debt that the government is taking on, coupled with the Federal Reserve's balance sheet that keeps ballooning, coupled with interest rates that they just want to keep lower, will eventually create a situation, a collapse in the system, where you will no longer see the Fed in its current form. It'll be kind of abolished, if you will. And that's going to happen strictly because the people will demand it. And they're going to go over it. It relates to cryptocurrency because eventually you're going to see a switch over to this kind of blockchain, crypto, digital currencies that will eventually be the future.
Okay, so you've outlined your thesis. Walk us through the mechanics of how this abolishment, this transition will happen, and what new form the Federal Reserve can take.
Yeah, so the chain of events started actually in 1977 with the dual mandate. So as soon as the Fed got put in the position of having to monitor unemployment plus inflation, that was the beginning of the end for the Federal Reserve. The reason it was is because basically if you want to keep unemployment low at all times, which is what the Fed wants to do, you have to constantly stimulate the economy, right? By printing money and keeping interest rates low. Well, you can't be the parent that spoils the child and then also be the one that's hard-nosed and says, well, we're going to raise interest rates because inflation's getting out of control. You can't do that. And that was the beginning of the chain reaction that I'll talk about in the presentation. After the collapse, You'll see a new body come up that'll be in charge of the digital currency, whatever it may be, and eventually you'll see this digital currency probably being used all over the world, even as the reserve currency.
Wow. Wow. Goosebumps. That gave me goosebumps, right? So that there, okay. Now it does, you can, like let's say you had 0% trust that this thing would happen. Now I'm like, okay. This could be like, like now I'm at, 0.10 of, that this could actually genuinely take place. Because what we're talking about is is probably the craziest thing in history, right? This would make the 1938 buyback gold look like nothing. But what he just said, goosebumps. But let's keep digging. Let's keep going, right? Let's not stop at that, right? Because there's plenty more to come. Now, Ripple ISO 20022 format adopted by Federal Reserve. Okay, so the Federal Reserve has now planned to adopt the ISO 20022 format for payments. This model is identical to the payment format used by Ripple Labs. Okay, all right. I don't want to get too excited, but I mean, this is just insane. The Fed banks will integrate the ISO 20022 format with the FedWire Fund service on the FFS. In an intriguing announcement on Monday, the United States Federal Reserve confirmed the adoption of the ISO 20022 payment format. It was also clear that also the federal banks will implement this format for all the FedWire Fund services or FSS transactions. The interesting fact to notice here was that Ripple already follows this payment format. This proves that Ripple had implemented this new tech quite early, which would align with the 2017 article that they made. So this has not been around for a couple of months. This could be that this has been going on as early as Ripple was founded. Could be. Now, Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve Board requests comments on a revised plan to migrate FedWire Fund services to ISO. And it's been approved. And submitted by January 4, 2022. Which also aligns with what I'm about to show you next, that people are saying that the buyback would happen in December if it were to happen. Now, interesting coincidence that the case between the SEC and Ripple has also been pushed to January. Interesting? Coincidence? I don't know. Now, Fed Reserve adopts ISO 2.2 format by payments that Ripple is compliant with. Again, this is traveling the world, but this is just too much, right? There's too many coincidences going on here. Now, XRP will be a world reserve currency. This was back in 2019. Now, there's been a lot of talk about this, right? And this has been a myth. To me, all along, this has just been one giant myth. And as I said at the beginning of the video, I'll say now, I still don't think that this will happen. Because my mind cannot comprehend $10,000 buyback per person, right? It's not clicking to me. Like, it doesn't... What? Like, this is crazy, right? Now, the amount of public debt owned by the US government is more than 22 trillion. This was back in 2019. There's a lot more now. Rising debt is a global problem. We know this, right? In 2021, I can't even imagine what the numbers are right now. So, introducing a new world reserve currency, which is an event that occurs approximately every 120 years. Then the fact that they talk about XRP was designed for $10,000. This was a quoted Ripple Labs co-founder by Arthur Brito, who wrote, XRP must be scalable to accommodate 7.5 billion people. This means that it was designed to be used by every human on the planet and to serve as a world reserve currency. Once again, I'm getting goosebumps. This is like the world economy, gross domestic product, GDP by country, 2017. Is this actually going to happen, right? I mean, this is insane. The XRP ability to scale at this level, yeah, it is. It is possible. It is possible for them to use it. It is possible for the Federal Reserve to use it. This could happen, right? Now, the Federal Reserve was set ISO 200 to go live in November. Ripple versus SEC expert discovery was happening in November. The Federal Reserve now accepting feedback on single day, implementing in January. Ripple versus SEC extends till January. Coincidence? I don't think it's a coincidence. Now, this all started, of course, with this particular video that went out, and, everyone, right, is talking about it, right? And this was, these talks have been happening since February, that XRP could reach between 10 and 35,000. And let's say the Federal Reserve was to buy back. Let's say they were to buy back. That could make sense, right? If there's a quadrillion dollars going through this particular system within a year, it doesn't make sense for it to be in the top 100 as just a regular cryptocurrency. It would look ridiculous. Like you see XRP, $10,000, and then you see Bitcoin, right? You see 1 trillion, or, like X amount of trillions that XRP would be. And the other thing is transparency as well, right? If it's public and it's open, it means that every transaction that ever occurs is public. It's open. So what happens to corruption, right? Because let's face it, like the world is corrupted. You can't have things publicly shown when the world is corrupted. It does not make any sense for that to happen either. Now, more Twitter comments going out left, right, and center, right? This is everywhere, right? So it's expected buyback to be by December 2021. A buyback of 5 to 6 or 10 or 35, what do you think, right? This is what XRP Captain wrote. I did a poll, and at the moment we got almost 50-50. 50 saying yes, 52 saying yes, 47 saying no. And the only thing that has kept me at the moment with a 0.01% that this could actually take place is that in 1933, the Federal Reserve did buy back gold. So would not be the very first time that something has happened. But what do you think? After you've seen what you've seen today on this particular video, in the comments, I want to know, yes or no, is this actually going to be taking place? Like, is this actually going to take place? I want to know what you think. Let's unpack this. Incredible. Incredible. If you learned something new today, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed the special edition, and I look forward to see you on the next one.